Okay, so watch this video for August 9th, which will be Tuesday. I'm showing you the SPY real quick, daily chart. This little splotch of red paint up here was today's daily candle on the SPY. You can tell it had a narrow range, hardly any volume. That's what August trading normally is. Very, very boring. Got to make your money in that first 90 minutes. I'm a firm believer in that. Take the rest of the day off. That's when you get the volume and the tradable setups, especially in summertime. So let's go into the list. If you, as you've probably noticed, I stick with the recent high flyers or recent high relative volume stocks for my watch list because that's where the money can be made, only with a proper intraday setup. So this one's a little bit weird looking, but SHIP, S-H-I, or no, S-I-N-O, sorry, I also have SHIP on watch. S-I-N-O went from $1.51 to $3 on an intraday basis on Friday. Then today, much lower volume, kind of a quiet inside day. So that one could turn back up as soon as tomorrow. I'm just going to watch it. Same with SHIP. It went from 462 to 764 intraday before, a much more narrow range today on tiny volume, relatively speaking. Again, that one can hold this support at 450. The shippers might be ready to bounce again tomorrow. If not, they won't cost me anything because they won't meet my intraday parameters for an entry. So it doesn't cost me anything to have them on a chart. OCUL, very nice 2-day run here. Sellers came in today. You could call this a possible retest of see this breakout area right above this, what was this? This kind of, let's see, let me try to give you a date here. July 11th, this one popped to 622, and then it ripped through 7, and this could be considered a retest of that breakout on lower volume. So want to watch this one for potential long again, OCUL. CBMX is a little bit of a weird chart. Gaps up tend to get sold off, but this gap up was much closer to recent lows. It's got nice support around the $3 area. So you've had a few days in a row where it just couldn't get going, but that also can be fuel for a short squeeze. All right, this is a smaller float stock, and if it can break out of this, this red candle area, in other words, like push up back through 4, I wouldn't be surprised to see a move through, to 5, and if it can get over 5, so it could head to the 200-day. So that's a lot of could-haves. As I said in chat today, if my aunt had different body parts, she'd be my uncle, right? So, but it is worth watching. I think this one could be interesting. So that's CBMX. Bristol Myers, a little bit of a different price stock for me, but Bristol Myers BMY got decimated on Friday and then gapped up a little bit today and sold off again. You got to love this thing if it can get down below 58. So that's still kind of a stretch, but it's so beaten up that it might just flood down through this 58. And I like it. You can see nice bounces below 58, but it's done a really good job of basically holding that area. And it's getting, if it gets there tomorrow, it's gotten to that area pretty darn quickly. So that's a good potential setup for a bounce play in that area. I've never heard of this one before, but LILAK is beaten senseless here over the last couple sessions. A lot of times that can yield a nice intraday bounce the next day. So it just goes on watch. Remember, I'm a day trader just looking for ways to make money tomorrow. HMNY had this monster move. I got the chat room in this one at, I think, 8.95 on this day before it ran to 16. So we had a really nice day with that. Also had a trade in it the next day that went up over like $1.50 from the entry. So now you got a couple red days. It hasn't round tripped, so I'm still interested in it. And the fact that, again, anytime something can move like this, all right, the intraday range, 780 to 16, and that was as recent as 3 sessions ago, okay? This has got to go on watch for potential. It's going to be spready. It's going to be what we call stupid spreads. But it might give a setup that gives us a nice pop tomorrow. So I definitely, this actually, believe it or not, is weird as this chart is, or as weird as this thing trades, it's one of my favorites going into tomorrow. Doesn't mean I'll trade it because I have to have the right setup. PRAN. Jane gave a great heads up on this one in the chat room today. It actually held up fairly well, all things considered. Great volume for this one. Tiny float. I'm going to look for a red to green, some kind of follow through in that one tomorrow. REN, a bit of a heartbreaker because at 10:40 this morning, heartbreaker for me that is, at 10:40 this morning, REN looked like this, and I said, hey, this was a high flyer in July, and the daily chart looks really good here, and the intraday looks good. I typed something like that in chat, and then it went on to do that, and I was done for the afternoon. I was gone. So What a great move. But anyway, that closed at 835. And I don't know if it had, I think it had earnings after hours because it went over 10 in after hours. And it looks like it settled in somewhere around 970. So this will be on Gap Watch tomorrow. If you pan out, you can see that up here over 10 is kind of interesting on the daily chart, but it has made a big move in a very short period of time. I'm still going to watch that as a potential gap play. A couple more here. Fate, F-A-T-E, nice breakout today through the 200-day, through this recent high here. Looking for a continuation move on that one tomorrow. That's F-A-T-E. EGLT, gapped up on Friday, sold off, then today sells off some more, but a very nice reversal. This one has potential to move higher. That one goes on watching. Then lastly, I've got APHB. Nice 2-day move, pulled back, and then it's up near the highs of that 2-day move. The high back here, this would have been, let's see, this would have been Thursday. The high was 205. Today it actually got through that, went to 207 before settling in a 2. It's a pretty good setup for a potential move higher tomorrow, so I want to watch this one too. That's it. That's the rest of my list. I'm going to watch gap plays in the morning, as we always do, build a list of potential gap plays, and also be watching all of these charts. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.